Hey boys and girls, what's up? It's the Black Avenger, aka the Black Azrael Lee Sanders, coming at you on this Memorial Day weekend of May 26, 2013. I hope your weekend is off to a good start. For those of you that might be still traveling out for this holiday weekend, I hope it's going smooth so far and that you reach your destination safely. I wanted to come at you guys and let you know that yours truly had got a hold of an advanced copy of the new Alice in Chains album, The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here. Now, for those of you that might be a little bit curious, I actually happen to know a friend or two that has ties to the music industry, and one of them actually works for a metal magazine, and that's pretty much how I was able to get a hold of a advanced copy. Now, for those of you that might be wanting to see if I could hook you up, I'm sorry. That copy is mine alone, for my ears only. I'm not selling it. You guys will just have to patiently wait a little while longer, as the official release date for this album is everywhere May 28th, this Tuesday. So you gotta wait just a little bit longer. But for those of you that are a little bit curious about what's going on with this new album, that is why I am doing this for you all right now. It is a brutally honest review of the new album. Now, I know that there is a couple of music reviewers that's on YouTube, and they spend about 5-10 minutes dissecting each track or something like that, and basically they're going on like a 25-30 minute review for one album. I don't think that's fair to you guys. We're going to try to see if we can talk about this album in 15 minutes or less, okay? But I do hope that you enjoyed this honest review, because first and foremost, this is coming from somebody that has been following Alice in Chains since their formation, since the first album, Facelift, had dropped. I have just been with them through all their struggles, right on up to when the original lead singer, Lane Staley, died of his heroin overdose, drug addictions. I even supported Jerry Cantrell's 2 solo albums. I've just been a huge supporter all the way around, and unlike some folks that have first heard the news that William Duvall from Neon Christ, Comes With the Fall, Noel Walls was going to be stepping in for vocals, I know a lot of people that were a little bit on the fence about that. Once I did my homework and I had heard him from the previous bands that I just mentioned, I kicked back and I said, you know what, this guy is a great compliment to the other surviving members of Alice in Chains. I thought it was a good combination. I was all for it. Now, we know that Black Gives Way to Blue that came out back in 2009. It was one of the most darkest and heaviest albums that the band has released, kind of almost right up there with Facelift and Dirt. And to quote Jerry Cantrell, he went on record saying that it was some of the most darkest and heaviest stuff that he's ever written. So that lets you know the type of tone that Black Gives Way to Blue had. Now we fast forward a few years, and now it's time for The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here. And just like with Black Gives Way to Blue, for this particular album, once again, it's released by Virgin EMI label, producer Nick Roskonskins. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. Once again, he's come back as the producer, and he's best known for work that he's done for Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters. He did the Godzilla album. He did the Foo Fighters DVDs Everywhere But Home. Foo Fighters Live at Wembley Stadium. Skin and Bones, which was later turned into a live DVD. He's also worked with Evanescence, Marilyn Manson, Deftones, Duff McKagan, Velvet Revolver, Rush. I mean, he just has a really good track record of artists that he's been fortunate to work with through his career. So great winning combination right here. Let's talk about each track. Now, I know 3 tracks had leaked out before the release date of the album. I know initially Hollow had leaked, I know Stone had leaked, and I know Phantom Limb had all leaked. Now, Hollow and Stone, I actually bought those on iTunes when it was released initially as a little bit of a sneak peek. I actually purchased them. I didn't listen to the leaked stuff. Phantom Limb, I definitely did not listen to. So I just want to let you guys know that right now, the way that I had approached this. As I know, definitely when Black Gives Way to Blue came out in 2009, Alice in Chains members, they were very upset because the album had leaked out like way early. I think it was by like a couple of months, maybe like 2 or 3 months, and it just had upset them big time. To quote the drummer Sean Kenny, he basically said it felt like being raped in prison. That's the best way he could describe the fact that their music had leaked out so early like that. Well, this time around, from what I've been seeing so far, there really isn't that many leaks that's out there. And no, I'm not going to even share links with you all. Again, you all will just have to wait patiently for the album. But from what I'm able to see this go round, it's definitely been somewhat of a tight lip, the way they've been handling this. I think that they have given the albums in circulation to the right type of people this go around, which includes yours truly, as I'm not hooking anybody up with a copy. But let's talk about each track. 12 tracks total. We got about 67 minutes of music on this album. I love the fact that Hollow just really reels us in. It just welcomes us in with open arms. To hear the dual guitars of Jerry Cantrell, William Duvall, I just really loved it. And it really sets up the entire album of what you can expect during the journey, which is a lot of beautiful melodies, beautiful hooks, just everything just in sync. That's just the first thing I think of that comes to my mind is the melodies. But Hollow, great opening track. I was really feeling the hook of the song. Love it. Pretty Done, that was okay. You know, I didn't really, it wasn't really as in your face as Hollow, but I thought it was a pretty decent track. Stone was a very interesting track. I thought that the approach that was taken to this, it was very cool, because it kind of sounded as if we were being taken on this fun roller coaster ride, as it kind of seemed like it had some type of a amusement park theme to it. And to just hear the way that this song just goes on for a little bit over 4 minutes, and then to see the video of it, as the band did release an official video, it just kind of blew my mind. You know, my interpretation of it visually was completely different from what I saw of the official video. But Stone, I thought, was a really good track as well. And before I go any further, for those of you that are a little bit curious, what's going on with the lead vocals this go round? Jerry Cantrell is dominating on pretty much every single track, and I will talk a little bit more about that in the overall review. Voices, you know, this one kind of took me by surprise, because when I first saw the song, I'm thinking to myself, oh, are they getting ready to do a rendition of Voices from the, I best know it from the Alice in Chains music bank that had came out a good while back. And it was like a unreleased song, somewhat of a B-side song, basically, with Lane Staley on vocals. So I'm kind of thinking to myself that maybe this was going to be a rendition of it, just an updated version. But it wasn't. It was a completely different song. It had a really nice, slow acoustic feel to it, mixed in with the electric guitar, but it definitely has that acoustic feel mixed in with the electric to it. This is where things start to just kind of get just a little bit slow right here, as the first 3 tracks, you know, it's pretty much jam sessions. Then we go to The Devil Put Dinosaurs here. Of course, self-titled track of the name of the actual album. I really, out of all the tracks, I actually surprisingly thought that this was the weakest track out of the entire album. I personally could have went without hearing this one on the album. It just really didn't do anything for me. Lab Monkey, that was another one that was pretty good. Breath on a Window. I thought Jerry Cantrell was just phenomenal on this track. Lyrically, I was really feeling it. Scalpel was another one that was pretty good. Now, for you William DuVall fans, there you go. Here's some good news and bad news for you. Good news, we got William DuVall to take the lead vocal on this album beginning as of track 10. Bad news, we only get him on lead vocal for track 10 and track 11. And I know that's going to upset a lot of you guys. And I'll definitely talk more about that in the overall review of this. But for me personally, the track that really stood out for me, that I just kept coming back to over and over again after I let the initial album play in its first take, Phantom Limb. That is just 7 minutes of just pure in-your-face rock. Those of you that have come to love William DuVall from his days, It Comes with the Fall, in particular, if you all have really enjoyed Beyond the Last Light, I believe that was their final album. This track, Phantom Limb, it just kind of had reminiscences of some of the material that was off of that album. I was just really just in awe when I was listening to it. It almost was a little bit of a throwback to the Dirt album almost. It kind of had a little bit of a Rooster vibe to it. Maybe almost like a B-side almost to Rooster. That's just the vibe I was getting from that. Hung on a Hook. William DuVall is back again at the vocals. And by the way, William DuVall on Phantom Limb and Hung on a Hook, he's definitely dominating on top of the guitar work as well. He's actually leading the way on this one, whereas Jerry Cantrell is pretty much him on all the tracks, leading, as William DuVall is serving as backup guitarist and vocals. But Hung on a Hook, that was another one that I have really enjoyed. Choke closes out the whole album. I love the way that they went about arranging the song list here. I love the fact that Choke ended it. And Choke, it just pretty much talked about swallowing your self-pride and kind of just doing the right thing, basically. And I was really in awe over that track. Let's talk about this album overall. Overall, I have a little bit of concern about the future of Alice in Chains, because for me personally, and maybe it's just because I'm a huge fan of William DuVall from his earlier work, and basically I know what this guy is capable of on the vocals. Personally, I would love to see DuVall have more of a dominant presence on future Alice in Chains albums. I would like to see him take the lead and let Jerry just really kick back and focus on the guitar arrangements. You know, that's for me, that's what Jerry Cantrell is really known for. And I know that with the Facelift album, you know, he was kind of doing his thing with backing up Stlee. I know on the Dirt album, it was pretty much the same type of deal. Cantrell didn't really start doing his thing with vocals until the Sap EP, and then the Jar of Flies EP, and then he just started dominating on the self-titled, or as a lot of folks call it, the Three-Legged Dog album, or the Tripod album is how a lot of fans are recognizing that album. And pretty much Cantrell has just been pretty much dominating on the vocals ever since, and it's nice that he's gotten very comfortable over the years with his ability to sing and all. But that's the one thing that unfortunately I sometimes don't like about Jerry Cantrell, is that, you know, you listen to a lot of the songs that he does the lead vocals for, And maybe there's that first handful of tracks that you really like, but after a while you kind of get a little bit tired of hearing the same tone, the same monotone, the same pitch in Cantrell as he's singing. And for me, I think that if this is the way that they're going to continue to do future Alice in Chains albums, then Duvall might not be hanging with them that long. This could be a scenario where Duvall, he may make an exit after another Alice in Chains album and decide that he wants to go back to just being the sole lead vocalist. But you can't have a talent like him be contained. I mean, for me personally, I thought this go round we were going to be hearing Duvall on at least 4 to 5 tracks. I honestly, I thought that would have sufficed, but it didn't even go that route. It kind of almost went the route of a Rolling Stones album. And for you Rolling Stones fans that's out there, you know how the later albums pretty much the way their entire catalog is. Usually Keith Richards, he does about 1 or 2 tracks, but it's pretty much Mick Jagger that's just leading the way on all the tracks. Well, for this one, and it's tough for me to say this because I guess my expectations might have been a little bit too high, but I thought on the one hand, great melodies on every single track, great dual guitar work from Cantrell and Duvall. They kind of were definitely up there with some of the best dual guitarists in metal. I really had enjoyed it. But when I just think about Cantrell and he's doing his thing on the vocals, to me it just really kind of came off more as the Jerry Cantrell band with William Duvall. And overall, I would have to say that despite Hollow, Stone, Voices, Phantom Limb, Hung on a Hook, the album's kind of half and half. If I were to rate this album, I'd have to give it, out of a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being bad, 10 being the most excellent, I'd have to give this album a respected 6.5 out of 10, maybe a 7 out of 10. For me, really, going forward, I think the future of Alice in Chains needs to be to rely on William Duvall's vocals and his guitar work more. And for those of you that might think I'm a little bit too critical of that, I want you to do me a favor, and if you end up picking up this album, listen to it in its entirety. But I guarantee you, you will definitely pick out Phantom Limb, Hung on a Hook. You'll pick those out instantly over Stone. I won't say Hollow. Hollow was definitely a good track, but that's because both of them were in harmony on vocals and everything, just doing their thing. Everything just worked really well on that. Now, for those of you that may want to try to compare this album to Black Gives Way to Blue, if you want the verdict on that, I would definitely have to say that Black Gives Way to Blue was a beautiful masterpiece. This album did not top it. Alice in Chains, I've never known them to put out a bad album. They did not do it. It was not the case for this particular album. But I did feel that there could have been a little bit more improvements in some areas. And as I mentioned with the Vault, that definitely being one of them. As I really want to see Cantrell take a step back and just really focus on the guitar arrangements. If you were to ask me if this is a must-buy, if you're a hardcore Alice in Chains fans and you want to just represent them, then you're probably just going to check it out regardless. For those of you that honestly you just want to hear a good review and you want to know if this is definitely a whole album that you should check out, I would just say out of the 12 tracks, if you can buy them individually, I would just say, and I know you can buy Hollow and Stone individually, so off the break I would definitely recommend you get those 2 tracks. I would also recommend that you get Scalpel, Phantom Limb, Hung on a Hook. The rest, I say you just pass them up. But that's going to do it. For those of you that may have gotten advanced copies of the album, I definitely would love to hear your review of the new Alice in Chains, The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here. For those of you that's going to be getting the album later this week, officially on release day, this May 28th, Tuesday, I definitely want you guys to come on back. Let me know what you think about the album, and who knows, maybe you guys can kind of make me see something a little bit different with regards to the way I have reviewed this album. Maybe for some of you, some of the tracks that I mentioned, maybe there's others that you felt were quite good on this album. But I definitely would love to hear from you. And hey, if this was your first time hitting our channel and you saw this, hey, definitely go out of your way to make sure that you give this video a like and you subscribe to us, as we're always posting exclusive content on a regular weekly basis, and we make it possible for you guys to be able to interact with us. So never miss out on all the great content. Thank you so much for checking out this Alice in Chains review of The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here. Yeah, I'm cheesing. I got my Alice in Chains shirt on. And I definitely will be seeing them when they hit the road. And I definitely will be supporting them. And I can't stress this enough. Whether they put out bad albums or not, if you love Alice in Chains, definitely show your support and see them on the road this summer. Represent metal, hard rock everywhere. That's going to do it, boys and girls. Black Avenger, Lee Sanders. Wish you all to be safe and be kind to one another, folks. I will see you next time. Everybody, take care.